Hello there and welcome to this unique chess training course. Why unique? Well, I don't know another chess course which not only teaches you how to play this wonderful game but gives you a chance every week to win some cash just by being a subscriber to this video channel. Later on I'll tell you more about how you can win $50 every week with your, well, I don't mean you're going to win it every week but you'll have a chance to be in there every week with a free entry into a prize draw. But don't worry, it won't be based on your chess ability. All you'll need to do is like, comment and subscribe to this channel to be in with a chance. But we do need 100 subscribers before the money kicks in. More about that later, but you can start to build the list today by liking, commenting. Something short is okay, like I think this course is great or whatever, and subscribe. That's the key thing. The course will be an epic journey from knowing how to set up the board correctly right up to analysing master games with me. So let's go. We'll look at how to position the board and the pieces and see how chess games are recorded so that they can be replayed later. And knowing that will not only mean that you can play through your own games to see how you won or how you lost, learn from them, but you can play through the games of the best chess players who've ever lived, the Grandmasters, going back hundreds of years. Not to mention, you'll be able to read thousands of books which have been written about this glorious game. So we'll look at the board, we'll look at how the pieces are positioned, and we'll look at how games are recorded and how every square has got a unique identity, and that'll do for the first video. So here's the empty chessboard. There's only two ways you could set this up. There's a right way and a wrong way. The right way is to make sure you've got a white square in the right hand corner. Obviously that would be the same for your opponent the other side of the board. They've got a white square in their right hand corner as well. It does matter because it determines, as you'll see in a minute, where the queens are placed, and that will have a knock-on effect about which side of the board is the king side, which side is the queen side. And it's just a right way and a wrong way to do it, and white on the right is the right way. Some chessboards have got the letters A to H and the numbers 1 to 8 actually printed on the sides. I personally don't like that. It sort of detracts from the appearance of the board, but if you haven't got that on your chessboard, well, don't worry about it. I haven't on mine either, and you pretty well soon know which one is the A file. It's the first letter in the alphabet after all. It's not that tricky to remember. This is the D file, this is the F file, this is the H file, but it does mean that every square on the board has got its own unique identifier. So the bottom left hand corner you've got A1 right across all 64 squares to the top right hand corner here at H8. So if we had a system for just indicating a letter for a particular piece, like B for bishop for instance, and we wrote B-H8, that would indicate that the bishop had moved to the square in the right hand corner there. So it is pretty simple. We'll come back to a bit of notation later on, obviously. Interestingly, if I just flip this board around, we're now viewing it from black's side of the board, and the letters are still the same, although they're reversed here from black's viewpoint. It does mean that the A column is the same column, and the 7th rank is the same rank that it is from white's perspective as well. It's just that black has to think of it backwards way around, if you like. But it's a far better and less confusing and ambiguous notation system than the old English descriptive system where every square on the board has got two different identifiers. This square here, which we know as a B8, black would be calling that in the old descriptive system Queen's Knight 1, but that same square would be white's Queen's Knight 8, and there's a whole lot of other reasons why that old English system, I don't know why some of the old diehards are still using it. I'm an old guy myself, been playing the game for 70 years, but I have years and years ago made the transition to the much better system we're going to be looking at here throughout this course, the algebraic system, where there's far less confusion. Let's just flip this back again so we're looking at it from white's point of view. And so just to recap before we start putting pieces on here, we've got files which are denominated by the letters here. This is the A file and the B file, and ranks numbered 1 through to 8. Okay, let's look at the pieces. So here we've positioned the two queens, the white queen on D1, the black queen on D8. So the way to remember where they go is that the white queen goes on a white square, the black queen goes on a black square. Incidentally, okay, these aren't black and white squares, but they're still called black and white. The same goes for pieces too, even if you've got a set of green and purple ones or whatever. One of the sets will be white and one black. So the queen side of the board then is the A to D files across there, and the king side, we just put the kings in position. Okay, the kings go next to the queen, they're the royal pair, and so we now have the queen side of the board and king side of the board. It doesn't mean that the queens can't go across on the king side or anything silly like that. It's just a way of indicating whether you're talking about a king side attack or a queen side attack. But notice that they are opposite each other. The king is opposite the other king and the queen is opposite its the opponent's queen. This is a mistake a lot of people make when they're setting up a board. They think that they have to be the same, but in fact if you're white, your queen is on the left hand side of your king, and if you're black, your queen's on the right side of your king. So you often see in cheap chess sets in shop windows where they've printed thousands without asking a chess player how to do it properly. They'll print it wrong. They've either got a black square in a corner, or the queens and kings are the wrong way round. So I don't know why they just don't ask somebody who knows before they go printing thousands of boxes, but it's something that I can't help spotting when I'm looking in toy shop windows or whatever. Anyway, this has gone on for 8.5 minutes, I think, so I think it's time we put the rest of the pieces on in the next video.